And we've got some back and forth action here. Yeah. Who has gotten a very good exit here. Well in the slipstream. Go for it. No, she does not. Very interesting late brake application that might have compromised something a little bit here. Katrina not quite letting him go. Managing to track out quite a bit there. Oh, yeah, and Stefan looked like he was going to lose it there, but he's kept it all together. And you'd imagine he'd try to run away. So let's see if we can get a replay of that overtake. So he went well off the track there. I would be amiss to think that that would have been something protestable, but managed to continue on. So got some fast little laps being set. Thought that would have been Katrina fighting it right back, but we're going to stay with the replays. This is not live. This is a replay. See there, just a little bit of a moment there. If we get to the onboard, you can see how loose Stefan gets here on the upcoming corner. Watch the turn in, and the rear starting to let go, but Katarina was not able to take advantage. So all is good. We've got a fight in Pro-Am. And this is Olivia Krzyzanowska. I hope I said that right. I am more than happy to be corrected by this in YouTube chat or post-race. It has been brewing for a little while. So we're looking at Olivia top of shot, just as we're getting Freddie in the gearbox view there. That gap seeming to ebb away from the fight it was threatening to be. We're continuing on regardless. Managed to get very close in the braking zone. You can see the body roll and movement and pitch of the Porsche behind, especially as it gets so close. You see a squat on the left there as it takes the right-hander, and right in shot there is Freddie. Opts to go towards the inside, thinks better of it. And whilst this fight is going on, that is Tom Algar at the back of Pro, threatening to get involved in this fight for Pro-Am honors, with 3 minutes and a half to go to this opening heat. So we see how things manage to continue. And as always, if there's any information that anybody that's watching wishes to know, I do have a lot of data available. We've got a fight for the lead, so we're going to cut to that. Side by side. Ollie on the outside there, at the top of shot. We'll cut to that and get away from our Pro-Am fight. Still hanging around the outside, running Jonathan very narrow. Seb getting sideways severely. And Ollie all over the curb forces the inside. And that would be P1, so you'd assume Jonathan wouldn't have much of a reply here on the following corner. And now he's gone into the clutches of Seb Brown behind. So does a race to go from bad to worse here. Billy back shot, fighting like hell to stay with this pack, but he's going to have to rely on any further fights happening to see whether this builds into a four-way fight. So each car here roughly separated by about half a second. Freddie Carter still not quite threatening a fight for Pro-Am, so we'll focus here on the fight here for P2. All seems relatively okay. I wonder if we can get the replay on. Seb Brown managed to get a little bit of a wobble. So this is the final lap. Let's get that replay up whilst we can, because we won't get the chance to go back to it post-race, post heat 1. So right around the outside, a little bit of contact. We can stay with Seb Brown here as we see him almost getting a little bit loose. That allowed, meanwhile, Ollie to force his way on the inside and getting that pass done, so it's very good to see. Meanwhile, coming back to live, we've got Jonathan defending against Seb, takes the inside, turns in a bit early, and that allows Billy to go through, so through goes Billy. And Lewis Hamilton, so he has to defend here. And maybe hoping that Seb Brown gets compromised enough to worry more about Jonathan. Jonathan right around the outside. Can he make it 2 positions in one go? He can, briefly. Does it allow Billy to get back into the fight? It does not, and an amazing double move there from Jonathan. But what I'm going to assume is, yeah, that is checkered flag. So let's cut to Freddie real quick. Wasn't able to quite get the move done. And let's see if we get the replay up before it cuts to the next session. So, Jonathan, right around the outside of Seb Brown, was compromised. And then right around the outside there, which becomes the inside, squats it down and says, "No, sir, Billy, you stay right there and flash your lights in frustration." Fantastic move. I'm just happy to have managed to caught that on the screen. So that is pretty much everyone done, I believe. Andre Leiser managed to go off track somewhere else, but that is us for Heat 1. So that was 13 laps of racing. And what does that manage to give us here? We're going to go for a little bit of a warm-up as we wait for people to start gridding up. If you enjoyed any of that action, do let us know. If there's anybody that you wish to feature more, I'm only a request away. And if you enjoyed any of that action, do give the stream a little bit of a cheeky like. I'd love to see it. See if we can get some of the overtakes from the previous session up. So this was the side-by-side that we saw for the lead. So we'll stay with the roll bar here because we did see Jonathan managed to pull clear. And I'm pretty sure that is definitely a rough track. But hey-oh. I don't think they'll be complaining in the lead of the race there. And I hope we can possibly get a look at Olivia's moves at the start of the race. So got out of line very early on, which allowed Olivia to manage to stay to the inside. I believe that might have been Katharina that went ahead for a little bit. And then it became a little bit of a fight here. wants to see Katharina eventually taking the lead in the Pro-Am. So was it a move directly here? Yes, it was. That was on Jessica Racer, who managed to lose quite a few positions here. I was reminded that Jessica did manage to go all the way to the back of the field. Or at least not quite all the way back of the field, but like managed to use different cars as well. The position coming up here. There's a little bit of a side-by-side here, turn 6. Hemmed in against Katharina. So that allowed Freddie to power around the outside for second place in Pro-Am. Still no particular action here as we wait to get our warm-up over and done with. So we've got quite a bit of time to go until the upcoming heat. So we'll go for a little bit of a break and then we'll be back in shortly. Alright. We are back for Heat 2. As you can see from the field, we have a reverse grid. So this is a full reverse grid. So that will give Andre Laser some action here at the front. Another full pace lap here. So it gives us a chance to kind of go and do a very unorthodox grid count as we go from back to forward. So we've got Ollie right at the back of the field for his successful pursuits in Heat 1, as we've got Jonathan Ogden in P2. Managed to lose that first place towards the latter 2 laps of the race. We've got Billy Wright, finished 3rd in that heat, who was pretty much 4th out of the top 4 for most of the race, right up to the end, which is kind of what I alluded to, as he was at risk of losing touch of the top 3. He's managed to keep involved. See the hefty dust being kicked up here on the formation. It was an effect iRacing has added, but quite surprising because I wouldn't have expected that much dust to gather in the short turnover time that we've had. Either way, Seb Brown, P4 in the previous race, lost quite a few positions there at the death. Tom Algar was P5 in the previous race and is now technically pro pole in this reverse grid in Heat 2. And let's make sure that we've got those numbers correct. Either way, then we've got Olivia, who won the Pro-Am grid. Now at the back of Pro-Am, dead middle of the field, pretty much, in P6. And then we've got Freddie Carter, who got close, but no cigar. We'll have to settle for the inside line to turn 1. Jessica Weiser, Stefan Visser, a very good fight there at the end. Katarina Geisler and Andrei Leiser Matairi. Hope I said that correctly. So, kind of an interesting pick of cars here for the dual cam. Since normally we would be picking the Pro and Pro-Am leaders, but everything's been flipped on its head. So, either way, Pro-Am Heat 2 pole, and we've got Pro pole, Tom Algar there, bomber shot. Oh, I'm gonna go too early here. So just wait for the green flag to fly. Inside, making 3 wide. Likewise, Olivia, we're 6 wide here. It's all going down. Freddie has to opt for the middle line. We're not going to see any issues here. Everyone seems nice and clean here. That's Billy Wright making moves. Tom Algar up to 3rd place right now. Some very good running here. Freddie kind of dropping back, which I think is expected against some of the pro cars. Won't fight too much. Billy, very aggressive there on the inside. Oh, and we've got an off there at the back of the shot. Who was that? I think that was Olivia. It was. Oof. So we'll check back in with them later. Got James Smith. So Ollie James Smith. His full name already, so suggesting James Smith is a bit weird. Andre getting fought by Jessica behind. Jonathan Ogden still further back. Half move there from Jessica, but nothing to do. A little bit of a fight further back there. Seb Brown getting involved with Stefan, trying to pass him ASAP, and I believe he does. There he goes. Not quite off track there, as Stefan keeps it on the track. Inside move from Jonathan on. I believe that is Jessica. It is. And that allows Seb Brown to try and go for a go-karting move. We've got Freddie Carter flashing his lights, so is that going to be a move there? Don't think it is. We've got Jonathan getting past Jessica. Seb is probably going to force the issue here. There he goes. He's going to force it very narrow, so Jessica will decide to stay in, and that will hamper his moves, trying to stay with that pro field. We're going to cut to the leaders very soon, as Jessica decides to stay out of it. And that has resulted in itself Jessica. Now we've got Jonathan. Jessica just there, right there. Jonathan, rather. Making his way past Andre, who has technically lost 6 positions, but I don't think he'll mind too much. We'll cut to the leader just as... apologies, not the leader. Ollie James Smith getting past Tom Algar, who slid back very heavily. Well off the track there. And can't make it work. So shout out to Freddy for managing to stay here with what is now mostly a pro top 4. Well, as he goes very deep, but right there. We cut to Billy, 7 positions up, and wanting to make it 8 for the lead of the race here. As we start lap 3. Fastest lap of the race. Linus Stern further back, 2 seconds behind to Ollie. So he's going to want to get this move done ASAP. I feel like he was telegraphing a dive there onto the inside. Did get a little bit loose. So we'll see how things get on here. Flash of the lights. So we know that this move is going to be happening one way or another. So I'm just thinking there's going to be a send here. There he goes, well onto the inside. Maybe we could have tracked that a little bit. So that is the leader. As now we've got Ollie. Very narrow line here from both cars. That gives Ollie the inside line. Not quite. Billy shutting the door on any progress there. We'll stay with this fight a little bit longer. We've got some overtakes meanwhile further behind. Very defensive line from Billy, so that's going to allow Ollie to switch it back. It would be a very inspired send here into the final corner. But there he goes. Right on the bumper. On board here with Billy. Oh. I'm pretty sure that 100% has to be a 0x. Onto the onboard, or rather the TV cam. With their sense of action, we've got Seb Brown setting the fastest lap in P6 at the moment. Oh, we've had a crash further back. I believe that was Andre. So now he's well back from the pack. Let's see if we can capture a fight here. Olivia, another little moment. So what's happened there? Lost out severely. Fighting currently Jessica. Ooh, sends it very deep. That allows Jessica to get the right hand line. Surely some kind of switch back will be on. It's going to run it a little bit closer if that is going to succeed. All the while, Stefan is getting in on the action, and Andre has caught up to this fight as well. This fight is off. So can we see what happened to Olivia that caused this issue? Olivia was there. Oh, that rejoin. Oh, that was a bit tricky. Olivia did manage to get past, and that did give Stefan, commiserations there for having lost 2 positions. But just continuing on just fine there. So, don't know why we've got to Cassini Cam, but that allows us to pick up the action here. Jonathan Ogden. And a little bit of a sandwich between Tom Algar and Seb Brown. Seb thinking about it, decides against it. Still no move. Seb heavy on the brakes. Oh, and he's lost it. What a strange place to lose it. And that's Jonathan off. What happened to him there? Can we get a replay of that, perhaps? Let's see if we can get a nice onboard here as we cut to the full screen. So it seemed very interesting because it was just quite heavily there on the grass. Aston did not like it, whether it was the grass or perhaps the curb on the side of the car. And that allowed Seb Brown and the Pro-Am of Freddie Carter to get past. So no real fight on track at the moment. We do have Katerina currently in a fight with the pros of Tom Algar and Seb Brown behind. So it is quite a fascinating phenomenon, seeing how when we had the entirety of the pro field ahead of the entirety of the Pro-Am field, we never really got any intermixing short of Tom possibly getting caught by what was the Pro-Am leader of Olivia at the time. So Tom himself is actually getting in a little bit of action here. Forces Seb to defend. A little bit of a wobble there from Tom. Right up onto the bumper, there goes Seb. Pretty sure that's off track there as well for him. Gotta be using all that curb because now that allows Seb to threaten the overtake. But then the point that was making as well was the fact that now that we've got the Pro-Ams kind of filtering down, it is causing a lot more friction. Where you would have thought a pro would be able to make the move relatively quickly. But it's probably of no surprise. The Pro-Am of Katerina in third place as Tom gets well over that curb there on turn 1, well over the curb there on turn 2. That massively compromises him and allows Seb Brown to get all the way around the outside, a little bit of contact there. As we get to the onboard here with Tom, good send there. Seb Brown decides to fire on the outside. Strong send there, still there. Oh, and Seb is round. Seb is round. Ooh, and he's going to be miffed about that because he looked like it gave him space, but there goes the rest of the Pro-Ams. I believe that's Andre putting the nail in the coffin for him with 9 minutes to go. Seb Brown dead last. So what happened here? Let's grab the chopper cam so we can get a nice view of the cars side by side. So Tom was kind of there, a little bit of contact. Still gave him space, and then ooh, very heavy there. Very heavy there. It's not going to be a fan of that. Nicely avoided by the rest of the field going by, as Seb does the right thing and goes off track to center himself and continue on. So we'll check back in with him later as he hopefully makes his way back through the Pro-Ams. Meanwhile, Tom in quite the fight there for 4th place at the head of a train. Grab the halves cam here see the fight for the front, or rather the front of shot here at the top of your screen. A good sense as well here of Freddy's inputs, as we see him trying his best to stay with these two pro drivers. Very hefty turn in as well. Big set there. Jonathan. Well clear, and that's P4 for him. So good move there. And then Tom, we're looking to see if he can at least stay a little bit close. Having said that, has allowed Freddy to get right up onto the bumper of the McLaren. Quite a little bit of action to go. This is the closest fight on track right now. The Pro-Am of Katarina Geisler just exiting the shot at the top of the screen. So managed to build a very decent cab, about 7/10. We'll see how things continue. Freddy looking on the inside, it's going to be way more on the side for something like that. Not quite close enough as well. To the solo on board here. The head-to-head here, albeit that is a little bit cut off. There we go. That's the cut-off for the head of the field right now. Too much of a fight up and down the field, possibly here in terms of Freddy and Olivia, but not too much to go. Seb Brown managing to set the fastest lap of the race. So we'll see if there's any other action that we can catch. But that does give us a chance, whilst there's a little bit of a lull in action. Just to say that Katarina decides to fight, so we'll cut to that straight away. So now that Jonathan managed to pull himself clear of the fighting cars behind, it's allowed him to put the hammer down, get some pace in, and catch Katarina for what is third overall in Heat 2. Not much to do here. Ooh, right onto the bumper. Well, about as close as you can get in terms of action. So whether this is just Katarina being a little bit tentative on the brakes, or Jonathan not quite lining up his braking to try and get an exit here, remains to be seen. But whichever the case, turn 1 is where it's going to be. As close as the gap as we've seen, 3/10. As we go with exactly 3 minutes to go, lap 11. We managed to get 13 laps in P1. PSR livery. Very good view here on the gearbox cam from Katrina. Meanwhile, elsewhere, as Jonathan managed to make his way through, just as I was too busy looking at some overlays, so that's fantastic. Got some fights elsewhere. Stefan Visser, really close to Seb Brown, but before we do that, we'll cut to the overtake that we just saw on screen. So kind of a half move, really, just looked on the inside and through went Jonathan. Seb Brown trying to make amends from his earlier off after having been involved in that scrap. Really trying to get past the Pro-Am of Olivia, who's defending quite well here. I think this might allow Seb Brown to get right around the outside into the final corner. And you would think that's a jump, but good, and Stefan getting a little bit of a cheeky look here. And I'm pretty sure this is white flag. So I'm going to stay with this fight a little bit. Hefty defense there, and Stefan right around the outside, very deep. Olivia elects against tracking out. So you would assume that allows, yep, that does allow Stefan to keep the position. I think Olivia's far too back to be considering that. But we've managed to see moves from her in Heat 1 from pretty deep into this corner. And that's a very good move there. So now coming up to, I believe this is the checkered flag, so we will cut to the leader. As he comes up to the penultimate corners. Oh, and we've had it off there. And who was that? Ooh, that might have been Jessica. Straight into Olivia there. See if we can get a replay of that up. As we've got the leader at the bottom of shot, taking the checkered flag. So Olivia going in quite hot. Oh, and then Jessica going in even hotter. So a 6-second win by Ollie over the rest of the pros. And then we've got Katharina, Freddy, and some of the cars behind as well, making their way through, so that's very good to see. And a side by side there, as Katharina managed to take that position. And Andre at the back of shot. Oh, sorry, I keep saying Katharina, Olivia, apologies. And Andre finishing it up for our test grid here today. So I believe that is everyone across the line. Quite a few mistakes here on comms, and a few hiccups on the overlays. But glad to say that we've managed to hit the end of our shakedown session. So some very good running here. A little bit of a parade lap. Some very good pace here, as well as some very good racing. We've had a few incidents, especially a little bit more in Heat 2, as people got a bit more comfortable getting their elbows out. But I don't think we'll be of any amiss here to be glad at having those fights. So I believe that is the end of the race. And I don't think we've got anything else left to say, except, yeah, I am very happy to have been broadcasting here for the first time. It is a new community, a new league, a lot of new things. So I definitely want to give my due diligence to every single person here that managed to join us for the test. Shout out to Pitbot as well for sponsoring and powering this league. And obviously us here at SimSpec Media being very happy to be brought on board as a broadcaster for the upcoming season. Um, and yeah, I think without going too long into the goodbyes, it is goodbye here from Shakedown. We've got our upcoming league race. The first one being at, I believe it is Alton Park, and that should be a very good fight for all involved. It is at roughly the same time slots as well. So that's Alton Park at the International Circuit, and that is 3 weeks away from now. So plenty of time for us to sort out the kinks, perfect our broadcast, perfect the racing, and for our humongous grid to join us for the opener for the season. So I've been your host, Torre, Khalid Ramadan. If you see me in iRacing, if you see me in the server, do say hi. And if there's anything that you wish to see in future broadcasts, let me know. I'm only a DM or a quick message away. Thank you very much, and good evening.